What we're doing here is taking everything that we've had over the last 6 months of coming on board with Jason, going through the conversations, and us choosing to go with Stobox for our tokenization, regulation, and compliance standards, as we want to adhere to all compliance standards. Day one, for every deal we bring in, we want to be regulatory compliant and having to meet those standards so that we don't have to unwind any deals that are tokenized, because when the regulations come out, they will be solid. And if we start day one, then we will be in line with that. And Ross has been last week up at the Securities Exchange Commission meeting on the tokenization of real world assets. He met with Hester Pierce and also has a publication that has come out that they're looking at there. And the chairman, Atkins, was there as well. And he went and met with them. So he has a very good insight of where the tokenization regulation process is going with this new administration and where they're going to move that to.
We already 7 years building this business, and I'm also their co-founder of Stobox and their tokenization expert at the biggest media in the world in blockchain and finance called the Cointelegraph. So I'm here in their US tour because I was invited, first of all, in Washington, DC to participate at the Select USA Summit. It is their investment conference, and I was there, the official delegate from the government, as well as I was on the offline meeting of their SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, and it was organized a panel dedicated to their tokenization and real-world assets, together with BlackRock, Fidelity, and all of the major players. So now I'm here in Florida to be able to digest and help repository RVA be successful and realize their project. And we'll be happy to contribute, and we'll be happy to share the insights, our journey, our vision, and discuss and dive into the details about the project. Well, as Stobox is a tech company, that's why for the last 7 years we created multiple technologies, so multiple products. For example, their Stobox DS dashboard on the left side, it is their product dedicated for the primary issuance of security tokens. So it is their one product through which you can register, set up your pass KYC, and set up different offerings. So it is one platform to issue and manage tokenized assets in form of SaaS. So it's software as a service. So we are the technical provider and the client is an operator. Currently, we have been building the next version of our ecosystem, Stobox 4. It's more for traditional companies, and we now in beta and more than 1 year and 2 months already have been developing this solution, as well as we created the first in the world tokenization framework. So it is our own methodology about how to tokenize the assets. So it is a scalable framework with the 4 phases, 30 steps, that you need to complete before you go to the technical stage to ensure that your project has all of their important data inputs and all of the questions are answered that will be asked by the investor, and that insurance compliance and that already processes are completed. As well as we have our own decentralized identity. So it is the solution through which you're passing KYC, KYB. It is know your customer, know your business, know your transaction. So it is compliance model. As well as we have the Stobox Oracle. It is set of the smart contract that ensures the compliance on air. And we have Stobox STV3 protocol. So it is our own security token smart contract on which we deploy assets. So different assets within our ecosystem. And what you need to understand that tokenization in general, it is the process of converting some physical assets such as real estate, commodity, security from their paper-based or digital-based into the token. So why businesses need it? So first of all, it is the ability, because it's tokenized, to manage their private company itself, because you see all of your shareholders, they are on the list. You can conduct the dividends, cap table management, voting, etc. So you manage your private company in this way, as well as it is a ability to fundraise globally through one platform compliant under the securities laws. So we provide the technology and you're able to fundraise from accredited investors, public investors, VCs, depends on their jurisdiction, regulation of your project, as well as you'll be able to open a secondary market for your business once the primary will be finished. And it is a crucial part, because any asset that is liquid costs more than a liquid one. So you can be, as being a private company, you can have the solution that provides you ability to buy and sell the shares, so the investors can buy and sell it on their secondary market. Of course, in decentralized manner, so through the smart contracts, because tokenization, it is everything about their smart contracts and about their blockchain where these processes are managed. And they, as I mentioned, they visited SEC, Security and Exchange Commission, and they are very proactive in this way, because I spoke to many providers before, and fact is that one day all of the financial instruments will be tokenized. Many reasons why. Within our current financial ecosystem, when you trade on NASDAQ, or you have T1, T+1, T+2, where T is trade. So they take at least 24, 48 hours to calculate the amount of shares and the amount of the shareholders to be able to include you. And it is a long time. That's why through the tokenization, for example, in the public markets, you can calculate it in 1 second and the system will never die. That's why BlackRock already conducted this process for themselves. So they already tokenized their investment fund. And Morgan Stanley, Franklin Templeton, and many other big names in this industry already covering this road. But the crucial part, it is that through the tokenization, it's not just about the public companies. It's okay, you have this ability through the brokerage to trade them, but through the tokenization, you can cover 99% of all of the companies that are private, to provide them the solution to fundraise, to manage the company, and to have the secondary market. So it's not about bringing your company to NASDAQ. It is about the NASDAQ bringing to you on your mobile phone with much more liquidity and much more opportunities. So it is about the tokenization. And that's why all of the major players moving in that direction, because it's the future. And fortunately for us, we envisioned it 7 years ago, and of course it is a tough journey, but nevertheless, we currently one of the leading company in this respect, because we covering all of the stages and have a big traction on that. I will dive into the details because mainly the team based in Europe, and we license in Europe. Were invited by the Blockchain for Europe Association, because we actively help different governments with their compliance and regulation. And Blockchain for Europe, it is only their association that lobby the interest of big blockchain companies like Binance, like Ripple in US, like Coinbase. So it is just best of the best. You cannot just enter from the street. And Stobox is a part of it, and we are only one tokenization provider there. So what we do there, it's not just the member of the association. We contribute to their European Parliament and European Commission to create affordable legislation for RWAs, real-world assets, and tokenization, to be attractive as a jurisdiction. And it is very big things that we're doing together with Blockchain for Europe Association. And Qatar, so we are the member of Qatar Financial Center itself, because we license in Qatar as a technology and as a business. And there are many big financial institutions that are part of their Qatar Financial Center, because of the taxes and because of their government activities, and as well as we are the part of Digital Assets Lab, so we help Qatarian government with their tokenization movement as well, because they have already developed the legislation there that is enforced for tokenization. So it is in respect of our government activities. And previously, because my partner Gene, he based in Malta Island, we helped their Malta Digital Innovation Authority, and we created a book together about how to tokenize assets properly. So we conducted this, we joined forces with the regulator to be able to educate local businessmen about tokenization.
Okay, this is more my field now, everybody, because this is sexy to me. This is all of the types of assets that we've tokenized around the world. As you can see, from gold to gas to oil, real estate, green energy, forestry, you name it. Over the last several years, we've done it all. We're proud to say that one of our clients who are based in Qatar is the first $1 billion project. They were fully funded at $275 million for phase one. They're building a large operation in the deserts in Qatar. It's actually the biggest shrimp farm in the world. And obviously there's a lot of construction going on now for processing in phase two. So phase one was closed at $275 million. Now they're in the phase two, which will take them up to $975. Then you've got, family houses. This is a very successful young company in the United States called Landshare. They basically buy and flip homes. They're very young, but very talented. And they're starting now to grow their business. And most importantly, they're starting to trade on the secondary market. They use Stobox's debts. And so that would be one. We've got another one, Iberia Gold. This is another $1 billion project. I know that they're in the process of receiving a $40 million investment now. The term sheet's been signed. They're just waiting for funds to land and hit their bank. So it's another success story from Stobox. The list continues. I'll just mention a couple more. We've got a lovely oil and gas project in Texas. Very well-known company there who decided to use tokenization for expansion purposes, doing exceptionally well. Another reason why they've used tokenization is to simplify their processes in terms of pulling dividends to investors. So that would be that. Mega real estate projects around the world, as you can see. So whatever you see on the news or whatever you heard about tokenization, here is proof that we've done it all. We work with clients around the world, or within 5 continents. And, this is part of my dragging rights, if you like, because this is the part that's sexy to me. When we onboard new clients, we'll lead them on the journey to raise their capital through the tokenization process. And more importantly, we form strategic long-term relationships. And that's really where I come in, is, managing those relationships, making sure we grow that client, not just in revenue, but planting ideas with the client to onboard additional projects along that journey.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, boss.
Yes, exactly. For example, the Mineral Vault, the project in Texas, it is Blake Morgan, as I know he is mentioned by Forbes US. So he owns more than 3,000 vessels that produces oil. And we tokenizing this project to be able to attract funding and provide the dividends distributions of each vessel of this project. And because we like turnkey provider and we covering all of the stages, our technology or our expertise is utilized by other tokenization providers that reach out to Stobox. As Jason mentioned, for example, PropChain, it is real estate tokenization company from Dubai, very well known in crypto if you will Google it. So they're using our expertise to run their own tokenization business. Lenture, it is US real estate, so they buying a small tiny homes for $500,000, $1 million, flip it and distribute their dividends for the investors. Atme, it is the first and the last at this moment licensed secondary market exchange in Bahrain. And Red Tokens, it is their project also related to their real estate in the US. So it is like our competitors, not competitors, because we not compete with each other, but rather than our clients that use our technology and expertise in good manner. Because we have many others competitors that just trying to copy us, that shown that we are on the right directions, but it is a different story.
Okay, so some of the benefits for businesses and investors. The key role of Stobox is provide a turnkey approach, with our clients. Instead of you onboarding that skill set that I mentioned briefly on a previous slide, we've already got our global skill sets in place. And this is why we came up with a strategy, not to just, provide a 6-week turnkey project, but to more go on a long journey with our clients. Usually that works on somewhere between 5 to 10 years. We've worked that before exit. So as you can see, our whole business model is set about renewable revenue, one on the dashboard, and making sure we expand our clients and then, hopefully pick up additional projects on that dashboard with that client or for referrals along that journey. We've made millions of dollars worth of mistakes, as I mentioned previously, lessons that we've paid other people for, which we already knew the answers, technology tweaks, upgrades, etc., etc. And about 2.5 years ago, that's when things really swang into our favor. We started onboarding the right type of projects. Our technology then was, world class, if you like. It was tested in 5 continents. And now, tractable 2.5 years in advance, this is what you see Stobox today. And there's plenty of things cooking in the background, which I'm sure Ross will discuss later on for the future as well. So we are on stop now with our technology and, our learning. We continue every single day.
Yes, exactly. So regarding their benefits for businesses, we already discussed it through my speech. It is their liquidity, it is the fundraising, it is cap table management, it is the regulatory compliance. And if we will see it from the investor's perspective, so first of all, it is the democratizing their entry barrier, because now if I'm like previously need to buy the real estate for $1 million to push it on the market, now I can participate from $100 and diversify my portfolio by investing in multiple assets, and I can cover, all of the US if I want. And also it is in general have this ability to be introduced in their offerings of the private companies, because look, everything is here. It is private companies, this restaurant, bar, restaurant, hotel, right? So I don't have this opportunity now to go open and invest. And through the tokenization, it is possible. So in general, it's bringing new opportunities for investors around the world. And of course, it is also their ensures compliance. We call it compliance on air. Why on air? Because it's automized on the smart contracts. So it is like compliant from the beginning, because it's a programmability where you program certain regulation and that you cannot do illegal actions within their ecosystem. Why? Because it is everything embedded. The regulation is embedded. So for investors, it is also there plenties of opportunities. And what is our key role? As I mentioned, it is this turnkey approach. And you will find a few teams in the world that can leverage it. Why? Because it's extremely hard. It is extremely challenging to digest, because typically when some project knocking our door, or when we started this business, we need to speak to the consultant guys, right? Then we need to speak to the lawyers, and you will have 10 lawyers, 10 opinions, and it is very challenging in different industries and with the different regulations. Then you need to speak to their tech guys and explain what you want and what you're looking for, and so on. So you like buying your job, and in this respect, we help to cover it as a global general manager. So we dirige all of the things to be able to ensure that everything goes smooth and successfully. So we are not against the client, we are together with clients. So we're taking their head and hand of the client and moving through all of the processes. And it is our main mission. So we do not compete with BlackRock, or we don't compete with Franklin Templeton. Why? Because they covering mostly they're already public companies or institutional based companies. For example, they tokenized 10 billions of US treasuries that they moved on chain. Great traction, but in your life nothing changed much, right? So we mostly focusing on small and medium enterprises to provide them these opportunities, because we believe in community driven businesses where your customer is your best investor. And through this rise of the social medias, where you have YouTube, TikTok, you can promote yourself, and you can build your brand and attract attention to your company, and additionally monetize maybe your traffic that you have here. For example, in this restaurant, look how many people visiting this each day. So we believe in it. And that's why we bring in this tokenization on the streets. That's why in our mission it is to help small and medium enterprises, not just the institutional companies that have funding and everything. And for them, of course, there are other benefits, but we see our leverage through their scalability and through their small and medium enterprises to whom we assist through this journey. I will provide some digits. This slide shows you our clientele. So we do not limit ourselves by the jurisdiction or by the industry, but 60% from all of our clients are from US and Canada. And in more than 50%, it is asset, it is real estate. And in other cases, it is their energy sector, or it is mining or exploration, or any other private companies that tokenizing their equity. So mainly our clientele is from the US and Canada, so we pretty deep under this topic. And in respect to the target audience, yes, it depends on their regulation, and it depends on their country of incorporation of the SPV or the company that will tokenize their shares. But mainly it is United States, UK, and European countries.
Could you fill in sort of the last 6 months of us talking and where we've come to, and how you have seen our initial discussions coming to now launching, and then from launching with the network that we have and the tentacles we have, especially here in Florida. We have deals we're working in Morocco, 4 hotel deals there, 2 new development deals there. Australia with a renewable project in the hemp space. That first project, in fact, we had a Zoom call last night with Ross. It went extremely well. Each one of those projects, they have 5 that we're going to start in Florida, Georgia, and Texas. They've gone in and just completed the soils research, this, that, and the other. So they're pinpointing the targets. The first operation will be roughly 4,200 acres and about a $50 million project. It will, the whole entire project will be tokenized. So real estate will be tokenized. The different aspects of the business will be tokenized. They have multiple products, and they don't want to have, they want to have risk mitigation so that we keep those in separate lanes. And then the investors will have equity positions in the entire framework, plus then the tokenization will provide them quarterly dividends, quarterly dispersals as well. And that is, some of the stuff we're doing there. We have projects here in Florida. We have our project down in Miami in the design district. We're going down, Ross and I are going down on Friday. Jim has leveraged contacts through the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association. He's the outgoing chairman of the board, and they brought in their contractors, this one specific contractor. He has run the largest independent hotel and restaurant consortium in Miami for the last 20 years. He's meeting us in the design district, and then we are going and taking a look at the buildings that we want to tokenize. And we have a very unique, it's the one that went into the magazine, a very unique perspective on how to bring Jim in as the Grandmaster chef, and then tokenization, and bridging the gap between the abstract world of tokenization and the tangible world of assets that they will be able to physically touch, fractionalize on the spot, and understand this fractionalization concept, because it's so abstract to the public. And once they come there, we will bridge that gap, and we'll have multi-million-dollar paintings on the wall that will be fractionalized and open to the public. We have, you saw our curators for art. We took a look at them last night. Ross and I did. We have gold. We have silver. We have the real estate being tokenized, and then the business is being tokenized. So we're going to tokenize the entire project and raise the 35 million. We're doing the quantifications for it right now. So once we have the quants down, and that's why the contractor's meeting there, then we'll have our CapEx, our OpEx, and we'll be able to much more target an exact tokenization. So just sort of from our initial discussions from hello to where we are now, and a couple of weeks ago, we engaged, and it's been an extremely stimulating conversation that we've had through the whole thing. And I think that with the Stobox team and what we're doing and the traction we're getting, we haven't even reached out yet, and we have over 100 million already in the pipeline. Not saying we can close it all, but they're very, very dedicated on going down that route with us. And then when they see what's the combination of repository and Stobox bring it to the table, it provides them the credibility to engage with us further to the point of actual close, and then moving into the future, all of their contacts and leveraging that network. So just sort of an overview from the Stobox side about repository and our last 6 months that we've been talking.
First of all, thank you for letting me join this conversation. I really strive to be a part of this startup session. Regarding the project stakes, so what would we have done? As we discussed on the previous workshop, we take a closer look at the endgame models that would be probably fit for you, and we have concluded our analysis, and we have our preliminary thoughts that we can share with you. Regarding the endgame structures, we assess different strategies how we can grow to these end structures, and we have quite good understanding of the first stages how we can conduct them. As well, we have taken a closer look whether the first projects are suitable for the less regulated options at the beginning, and I'm going to share that yes, it is. Also, we took a closer look at the specific token parameters for the first two options, and we have already some preliminary decisions on that. So globally, the analysis stage of the project is already concluded. Currently, we are with our team preparing the written document, so you will be able to engage and to bring your own perspective to this document within our tokenization frame. It will be more interactive story, because within the tokenization journey, we not only need your decisions regarding some points, but also we need some preliminary documentation to implement it and embody it into the technology solution, such as legal documentation on the platform, such as marketing materials, etc. So there are a lot of steps to be conducted, and we want to keep it more engaged with you. So currently, we are preparing our documents that will be shared with you within our space that was already shared with you. And I think that we need only several days to complete the stage.
So like you guys would take a book or like a farm project and then upload it into this. I mean, so how does the investor, they are able to analyze the token, the underlying value and there's a history that they can like P&Ls and
Yeah, they have to. Well, I'll let you, but in a part, they have a. We need to share simplify it for me.
No.
Oh, it is. They have a framework that a very detailed framework that they lay out, and all those things. Like, yeah, it's just like investing. What I took away from it, it's just like investing in a project that you would like if you and Lloyd were going out and want to invest in a hotel, you would want to see their P&Ls or bank statements or cash flow, everything that you wouldn't do to make an intelligent investment decision. All that information that you would ask for is part of this project. So it's there. So any investor can go into that like that. I'm not sure how the interface is, but they basically go in through Stobox and all that information that you would want to see to determine whether or not you want to invest in that asset is there for you to determine. Is that correct?
Exactly. So look, I will answer this question. So what are the stages of tokenization and what investors will see? So how their asset itself tied to their blockchain and tied to the tokenization. So look, let's divide it into a few parts. So the first part, it is exactly what you mentioned. It is their tokenization framework. So it is a framework with certain questions and phases that you need to answer about, that we help you to complete it through our assistance. What asset, in what jurisdiction, under what regulation. And all of those answers consider it as our final data points, right? Because after each step, you have the result. And result, it is data input. My jurisdiction is United States. Okay, you can see 30 pages why it's so, but the final data input is United States. What is the asset? It is real estate. Above you can see 30 pages, but the result, it is real estate. So we collect all of these data inputs and put it then, once tokenization framework is completed, into their security in security token smart contract. So it is a smart contract that ensures compliance, and you put all of these data inputs there. So they are on chain, they are on a blockchain. And then this smart contract has their visual representation of our SaaS platform. So I, as investor, I go, register, email, password, connect my wallet, and enter your dashboard that we provide for you with your logo, your copyrights, and what they will see. They will see different investment opportunities, for example, billion A, B, C, or shares type A, B, C. They will be able to enter each of offering, see all of their documentation related, all of the documentation that you have in respect of the P&L, in respect of your marketing details, in respect of your legal entity registration, everything that will be included in their framework and everything that you would like to see there. So investor will be able to check it out, to check smart contract, to check your data inputs and your parameters of your offering. What does it mean, parameters? Dividend rights, yes or no? Distribution rights, yes or no? So you know that different parameters of the investment offering assets in the traditional industry. And then investor will be able to purchase it through their fiat or through their crypto. Purchase what? Their security of your company, of your private company. So yes, answering a question, the investors will see all of the information in the platform with your documentation, with project details, as well as with smart contract. So the investor will be able to check it either in blockchain or either in the platform and see it in good manner in visualized form.
Does Stobox provide third-party validation as one of its services? So who, if you're the investor and you're looking at it, you know, who validates the validity of the documents, or is that in part of your process before you do it? You know, I mean, you can
outside audit, basically.
yeah. No, you mean, yeah. Who's validate?
So Bogdan, let me answer this question and also please contribute as well. So the question is, who validates? Look, we as a Stobox, we are not the legal firm. We are not licensed legal firm. What we do, we help to prepare all of their documentation, all of the processes related to this. For example, what documentation? It is offering memorandum, it is security token purchase agreement, it is privacy notice, it is terms of use. So everything that's related to the offering. So we do all of their back office job and save money for the clients. And then if the client would like, he can validate it and spend not the thousands, but just a few hours by the professional lawyer to get the stamp that will validate it. Or you can validate through any third-party provider. It means that on each stage, together with working group or separately, you can validate this information as a part of the working group, because with Stobox we do our job, and any other contributions or any other validation, of course, there will increase the probability of the success of the project. And in respect of your asset itself, of course, you will need to have the proof of ownership and proof of information you provided, the title, so it is your real estate. So there are many parts that you provide as well, because it's your project and your business. And we provide the processes, the framework, and our regulation and our standards that can be verified and proved on any stage.
Any industry that's selling anything, at the end of the day, it's the market that you pitch to get the results. So what stage are you at now for the marketing, for access and coverage, so that, if you're down here and you're doing $100 million project, and this little we're somewhat discovered, but it's not like we're New York City, or it's not like we're in some other places. What's the coverage level that gives assurances for marketability for it as a tokenization?
I will rephrase it. So the question is related about the people who will buy this in the end. It's about distribution, right?
Correct.
Okay, so in respect of the marketing core industry, how it works now, we know that more than 25% from the US citizens that are older than 18 already invested in crypto. Here I mention in crypto because tokenization built on blockchain rails, right? Crypto and tokenization, it is two different regulations, right? But it is the same rails, because when I have currency on blockchain, it is cryptocurrency. When I have their pictures on a blockchain, it's NFT. But when I have shares of private company on a blockchain, tokenization. So what I'm trying to say that it is the same rails blockchain, and crypto is complementary, because crypto is also utilized by blockchain. That's why I'm telling that more than 25% from US citizens that older than 18 already participated in crypto, and we see a big movement now by being 7 years in the market. For us, it is just the beginning, because accredited investors and public investors, they now looking for such opportunities. Why? Many answers why. Because, for example, many big players like FTX crashed. And people understood what is securities and what is the difference between crypto.
Just listening to you real quickly. Here's what I see as the massive advantage of this. And I mean massive. And it's going to become more and more apparent over time. It's two things: diversification, meaning risk mitigation, and number two is liquidity. As a professional trader for 40 years, you can't even handicap that, right? It's liquidity, being able to get in and out of certain transactions if you need to or whatever, which you can't do in a lot of other, you can't even get a piece of X, Y, and Z for the most part, especially if it's transparent. I just think from my point of view, because we've all been caught in liquidity traps, I'm pretty sure, 08, 99, who knows, whatever it is. And as a trader, I've seen every Black Swan event for 40 years, and I've traded through all of them. But having liquidity and diversification to me is the massive advantage. That's just the way I look at it.
It depends on their target audience. If it's their traditional people, right? And let's say accredited investors. There are many distribution partners that help to reach them. For example, our partners T0, they are broker dealer here in US and distribution partner that able to reach this audience. When we talked about the VCs, You have thousands of VCs companies that think a lot that now invest in blockchain solutions, including tokenization. You see a big shift from their public investors that investing now to the tokenized treasuries, for example. Many of public investors now investing in their tokenized treasuries, so you still have this opportunity to buy their US treasuries or Apple stock through their NASDAQ or through the brokerage, so it's still alive now. But why they prefer tokenized versions? Why they preferred in form of tokens? Because it's simple, because it's in iPhone, because you don't need to wait a time from the brokerage, because it's simple to open the account still in a compliant way, so still with strict regulation, because it's 24/7, because many of reasons. And of course, it is there like this learning curve, right? The curve of the adoption. And by spending 7 years here, I see that each year, each quarter, we see more and more traction. That's why the industry will reach $30 trillion. It is by their PwC and Mostly Consulting Group just in 5 years, the industry of tokenization. So it depends on the audience that you will target. And it also will depend on your marketing strategies. Because if you're looking to target public, we need to understand that you need to be ready to speak to public. What does it mean, speak? It is YouTube videos, it is posts, it is communication, it is transparency, it is reports. So like being private company, but with public approaches, right? To be able to cover them and explain them. So we as a Stobox, we do not like conduct the investment relation because we're not the broker dealer, we're not the transfer agent, the technology provider, but we have the distribution partners like T0 in the US, think a lot that can cover different target audience with a distribution, or we can target any other audience and develop your marketing that we will advise you.
Well, I don't. The framework of it, I understand, and I see all the advantages of. I'm just trying to look at it from the timing standpoint and the ultimate of now game, or who it reaches and how it reaches, and I really appreciate the. What you were just saying that, how much of it is what your target is and what you're willing to do.
Yes.
Because it is the new age. And so,
because with different target audience, we will speak differently. With VCs, one approach. With your old traditional companies, one approach. With new ages, one approach. With public, one of the different approach. So.
Well, that's why I asked Jason, but he can, he can break the mold.
Lloyd's saying we want to build a $30 million hotel across the street. How do we get that money by the end of the year to do?
You want to jump in on it?
Yeah, that is certified by the guys. We use a partner as well. We've got multiple partners around the world. Ross is just give you an example of a broker dealer site. But in this world, what works really well, whether that's targeting retail investors or accredited institutional, there's certain companies now that's been set up and you've got a brilliant track record. One we use, our partner is called Growth Turbine. I'll send the link in chat in a minute. Their job, particularly, they have big databases of investors which invest in projects of the past. They would know the right target audience for real estate investors. For example, they hit another button, they'll know how many lives in Florida. Then they would drive these investors to your project website, which you're getting built now. And the rest would be like flying a Boeing 777. It would be on autopilot. As soon as I land on that page, I would see the project. I would see the timeline that you require the investment for. I will see the potential returns. And from that point, if I like the project, the website would say, for example, buy tokens. So this marketing firm continuously pulls investors to your website, seeing that beautiful hotel on the beach. And if I want a part of it, I simply click a button, go through KYC and AML. Once I've been whitelisted, I can participate, buy tokens, and you get paid instantly. So I just wanted to mention that because we find that this is now the the norm on tokenization, on how traction it is done. It's different if you've got your own handful of investors that you go to for each project. That's a different story. But if you want to drive the masses, this particular partner is an expert at it. I think their success rate is 86 point something percent, fully packed on all projects they've ever taken on. And that's a very high number, guys.
Yes, but also you keep in mind that you need to have this sufficient level of the documentation or information about your project to be able to fundraise.
Yes.
What I try to say that people believe to other people, and how other people can believe you. Maybe if you like powerful person, you can fundraise without any websites and any videos because you're powerful person and people will believe you. But if you will like to target other audience, of course you need to digest through what? Through videos, through their production that we have now, through their images, through their publications, who you are, what you do, and why people need to invest in your companies. So you need to digest it and to be able to cover it. So what I'm trying to say, so it depends on their project, it depends on the power, and their resources and channels will be dedicated, like depends on their different audiences. But what I'm trying to say also that you need to have this like picture so people will believe you, that you need to explain to them. It's not just the bottom money where you tokenize your assets and then everything happens. You got $1 billion. No, it's about work as well.
Sure. And so yeah, your company, do y'all as part of the program and setting it up, do y'all provide guidance to what you were just saying about companies to like help, put the marketing plan together to follow up on the tokenization that y'all been able to provide and the certifications and the legalities, to go forward? So how full service are the coming together of resources do y'all do?
Well, for the marketing campaign I just explained to you, a typical case really, we have partners in place around the world. This particular one focuses on the United States and Canada. So what we would do, because we have partnership agreements in place, will be to facilitate the introduction, to guide that particular partner on your project, explain your project so they fully understand. We then look, what is the minimum investment, for example. I don't know, Bowden's on this call, I can't remember, but if it's, say, 20,000 tickets, that would be more towards accredited investors. If it was $500, then you'd need a big resale campaign. So all of these things, where we put the project together, internally, gets factored into place. Not all clients want our support from capital raising because they can do it themselves. But for those who do, yes, you have mechanisms in place.
Yes, and it depends on their investors. And yes, this company Growth Turbine, yes, they're Canadians, so they cover US and Canada. But I think that T0 will be the most powerful in respect of their accredited investors because they hold the license of broker-dealer and transfer agents. And we have many others, also broker-dealers and transfer agents. As I remember, just 7 of them exist in USA at all. So it's not like many of them, but we have partnerships with those types of the companies. And also it depends on your connections, right? And in the financial industry in respect of the licensing. So that's why we are together in one working group to understand what resources we have, right? And what connections to be able to frame it in a good manner and to be able to understand what channels or what directions will fit best, especially in our unique case.
So what costs what are kind of the cost parameters from, something simple versus, something difficult, to have stovetop to, put a tokenization together, to go forward.
You mean to start from scratch? So what are their associated costs from the beginning till the end?
Yeah.
So let's divide it into two parts. It is launch mode, right, to be able to launch it, and then like marketing, distribution, and so on. If we're talking about their launch stage, right, it will be around $30,000. With what is including it is their framework, it is their support through the framework with Stobox, limited with 40 hours. It is the technology and DSL that we provide with 6 month subscription, and then it will be their preparation on legal documents. So it will be everything around with their company, and also it depends you have registered company or not, and blah blah blah. So it will be around 30-40K to be able to launch it. And then comes the second part. It is distribution and marketing, and it is from 0 to unlimited, because it depends where you are and what you're looking for. So some distribution partners, they require some. It depends on the companies. It requires some initial payment of $10,000 or $20,000, or some success fees, or T0, as I know, they charging around 40K for the distribution. So it depends on the partner and what time they have, or maybe you would like to have your own marketing and run your own marketing through the channels. And then it also depends: do you have marketing team or not? Do you have marketing department or not? And blah blah blah. So I think that from the marketing perspective, it is, and distribution, it's starting from 20,000-30,000.
And that's what we've already launched it to, right? That's what that's what, and they're building for us now. We've already purchased that part versus the front end part. So they're building that for us so that we can do any tokenization for any project we want, making out. So,
But the marketing dollars, distribution dollars to get that message out.
Yeah.
As in they have networks that will piggyback on. And that's just the United States networks. If you have a project that someone's in Dubai or the United Arab Emirates or any of the other places where they locked it down, then that is very easy and inexpensive to open up to as well, because they're already there and we're already in.
But yeah, it doesn't matter with the marketing firms, or as Ross says, exposure now is global. So with the flick of a switch, this can be done, yes.
Okay, I think for the same allocation, you get a much broader audience. As a one-to-one comparison with the traditional way, as the way that it's done through the tokenization process, and piggybacking on the existing network that you all have built over the last 7 years. So I don't think it's a one-to-one comparison. It might be twice as effective as the traditional way, or if your network is small, it could be 10 times as effective, dollar for dollars.
Yeah, and then you've also got to look at your project, for example, first one, real estate, it will have a certain audience. Next one could be, you just might see another one fall from the sky, which is paintings, different audience. So this is a matter of corporate strategy internally. And then from there, depending on what type of project we want to onboard, this is where the mechanics come into play with the right selection of the right partner, you see.
Mm-hmm. Bogdan, guys, if you don't have any comments, I think that I will let you go. I know that it is late time in the Central European time zone, so maybe we'll be with Jason and we'll move forward with Jason.
Yeah, and Jason probably can answer this. That's fine. Technical question on the regulation with SEC. So from my understanding, most of our offerings would fall under Regulation D, which would prevent us from having to file, very lengthy documents and so forth. Who actually files the Form D, that falls under that? Is that the issuer, as in the issuing company, or is that us acting on behalf of the issuer through Stobox?
The issuer, right, Bogdan? The issuer files their Reg D, but we can assist in this respect.
So the issuer, the person who actually, if we are doing this for a real estate deal, would be the person who technically owns the real estate.
Yeah, so it is the issuer of their securities. So what securities you are offering, that those legal entity need to report. The logic is that if I'm selling my shares through the Reg D, this especially legal entity need to report.
Okay.
So it's the issuer. It's not Stobox, it is the issuer, but we can help you to file it.
Okay.
Because we already did it many times.
And that's part of what we also did in our package, is that they're providing some assistance in regulatory and compliance that we can push them in the right direction, but they'll still have to do.
So, for example, the hemp company,
Yes.
if we were helping tokenize that project, they would be the issuer because they would be the actual owners of that. So we would facilitate them filing Reg D, but we them signing off on the Form D, the Australian company, versus us as the person tokenizing the project. So yes, okay.
And for those of the companies that don't have, let's say you have a startup or they're transferring into a different industry, they might not have any clue. And then we can give them a general perspective on what to do, where to go, what to file. And that's part of what the Stobox team will provide for us as a repository.
So Bogdan is completely right. We started this business 7 years ago because we as a private company want to be in this tokenization reels. That's why in 2020 we tokenized ourselves, and since that time we running our own tokenization processes, our securities, because the idea is to manage it for ourselves. So when we tokenized ourselves, we distributed the shares accordingly with the shareholders of our company, with the co-founders, right, between the three of us. Then we reward our best performers, employees in real shares of the company. So it's not the options, right? It is the real shares of the company. And since that time, we created our own equity security token, the revenue share security token. So it's revenue share. It's not the security where we share revenue from our product. So yes, everything we created, it is first of all for ourselves. The product that we have for the primary, for the secondary, for the verification. Because by being on this market, we see a lot of struggles, a lot of challenges. And because it's our passion, it is our journey, we help others to make it more efficiently.